Well, he's known by 7-time, but after his performance in the XPEL 375, I think we should give him a new title. Joining me now inside the wind tunnel is the man of the hour when it comes to oval racing in the NTT IndyCar series, Jimmie Johnson. Jimmie, hell of a performance, my friend.
Yeah, thank you. That was a really fun and exciting race for me. I just kind of got into a groove and understood the car, figured out lap traffic or traffic in general with dirty air, and got into a rhythm. And honestly, wish we had another 50 laps. I think I could have made it entertaining up front for the win.
Well, we talked a little bit on my show with TK, Brick by Brick, about your performance and the fact that there was a moment in time when you were in front of Scott Dixon, your teammate there, and another multi-time champion in IndyCar racing, and then some fuel issues. Where is that the very first time you've been forced to make fuel like Dixie does?
Yeah, and what's wild is I had been doing that already. And I got a call from the stand, and I could tell by their voice that something wasn't as expected.
Yeah.
And what ended up happening is the telemetry fell out, and they couldn't see where where I was with fuel and predicted fuel consumption. And they panicked and knew we had a great day going and called me off. I feel like I could have gone up there and chased down power with the pace that we had, but just had to go into massive fuel savings mode. And then Scott got back by, and I was able to keep the gap to Alex behind me.
Jimmie, it was monumental when you made this decision a little more than a year ago to check a box, do something just for Jimmie Johnson instead of for the hundreds, if not millions of fans that you might have and relationships that you developed over the course of many years in NASCAR. Now that you've been able to not only check the box, but get comfortable, as you just said, because even going back to the opener, you've always been hard on yourself in terms of acquiring the skill set. Are you in a good place right now in terms of your development as an IndyCar driver?
Yeah, I mean, I really think so. This has been a larger challenge than I ever expected, especially on the street and road courses. And I say all that and I kind of laugh at myself. I won one road course in NASCAR in 82 ovals. So I guess maybe the writing was on the wall and I should have known better. But, I'm a racer. I'm a competitor. And, last year was fun. This year is still a lot of fun, but I do have higher expectations for myself. And I had some bright moments at St. Pete, but the net result was not what I wanted for qualifying and for the race. So, I'm hard at work in trying to improve that. Fortunately, we have a test session coming up soon at the Indy Road Course, and then we get to go to the race in Long Beach and see how I stack up. I'm hopeful that the connection I had with the car and how to make the car turn at Texas will help me on the road courses in some way. And I know it's kind of a stretch, but my mind, I've been so protective of the balance of the car. And I believe I've had too much understeer in the car and have really kind of taken the car out of the track. And as I got comfortable with my adjustments at Texas, and the thing just got easier to drive, and I just put more turn in the car with my bars and weight jacker, and life just got better. So I'm hopeful that there are some trends that will carry over. We've got great teammates that are trying to work really hard with me. Obviously, a great organization at CGR that's trying to help me. But I want to run in the top 10, top 15 on street and road courses, and then after our debut at Texas, I think top fives and podiums are honestly realistic for me in the on the ovals.
Carvana is doing a terrific job with their YouTube channel and kind of documenting your journey in this IndyCar effort. And there was a moment in the latest episode that they posted, and I've aired it here on Wind Tunnel, where Tony Cajon, one of your teammates who is very, very close to you, had a come to Jesus type conversation with you afterwards. and the thing that stuck, and I've known TK, gosh, all the way back to his Indy Lights days, much the way I have the relationship with you. And he looked you straight in the eye and he said, "You've got to trust the car." Seemed to resonate with you. Do you trust it now?
I'm getting closer.
Yeah.
It's wild to trust something that is, the performance level of it is so far out there. And I've spent a career walking that tightrope of performance in a certain vehicle. And now to go 2 to 3 times further than what all my senses tell me should happen, it's a different experience. And honestly, it's been a lot of fun. Like, I've really enjoyed having these wild moments of exceeding expectations, but I'm still under the potential of the car. And I'm gaining reps and learning how to trust that and trying to find the edge. And, I'm getting closer. Every rep that I make right now, I'm getting closer, and to have support like I do from Tony, from Dixon, from Pelot, Erickson, and even other folks in the paddock. I have many friends in the IndyCar series, and it's great to have the support that I do.
Yeah, well, be careful. Pelot likes to come up to you now and again and remind you that you're twice his age and you could be his dad. So, there's a little zinging going on there. He
responded to a text of mine at 7 a.m. the other day, and I said, "What is a young guy like you doing up this early?" So I try to poke him back when I can.
There you go. That's a good idea. I don't think enough attention is paid or appreciation by fans of the importance of muscle memory. And the muscle memory that you accrued over your NASCAR career is in many, many ways, in my humble opinion, the polar opposite of the muscle memory that you now have to acquire when you're in a car without power steering, in a car that is, geometrically set up differently with a lot more downforce. Do you find yourself succumbing to that muscle memory that you pretty much honed into a great skill in a stock car, and then it turns around and bites you in the butt now and again in an Indy car?
Yeah, it really is the case. And I certainly had plenty of those moments last season, and hope to learn and not make those same mistakes this season. But just everything about an Indy car is different than a Cup car. And just to generally speak to it, one example would be how your fastest lap in a NASCAR is always your first lap. Mm-hmm. First practice, first lap on new tires, first, and just progressively gets slower and worse. In an IndyCar, it's the opposite. The tires have to be turned on. They have to come up to temp. The car burns fuel off. It gets lighter and it's faster at the end of a run. So just as simple as the way you approach a session and attack a session is just different. It's 180 degrees off. And then from there are just many more layers that they kind of play into it. And at the point I'm at now, I'm roughly 6 to 8 tenths off of my teammates in any session. If you look through it, that's the gap. That's less than a tenth of a second per turn on a road course. You're talking 500ths in a turn when you go around a track with all the corners that are there. So I'm into that fine little detail, and it really boils down to brake release and minimum speed through the corner. That's really where I need to focus more. Get a better sense and feel of the car and release the brake pedal a beat sooner, carry just a little bit more speed, and maybe even back to the gas just a fraction of a second sooner. And I'm there. So when you really look at the data, it's a tiny, tiny amount. And I'm proud that I'm where I'm at, but I still have a ways to go for my own stuff. And I don't care what the fans say. I'm over that crap. I'm here doing my thing and enjoying it, have the support from everyone that I need and want. And, I think my performance at Texas shows that I can go racing still. And that's just about, sorting out these fine details for the street and road courses.
Is there a certain release in what you just said, not having to be concerned about the social media? You've earned your place in motorsports. So if you want to judge me, go ahead. It isn't going to change what I'm doing. Does the Jimmie Johnson of 2022 just kind of look at it all in his own mind and say, I'm doing this for me?
Yeah. And it took me a career to get there. I was so hyper worried about that stuff in especially in my early years of NASCAR, and through many experiences learned to care much less. And then now at a point where I really don't care at all. So I'm thankful for that, and thankful to, have partners that can identify with that, appreciate that, and are helping me with this opportunity, and not only helping me with that, but also documenting it. As we just spoke about the Carvana documentary, they believe in what I'm doing, and they believe that it resonates with many people out there. and that's why they're sponsoring the car. And then after last year's experience, like, we need to share the story.
Yeah.
So, now we have our 6-part docuseries that's out, and it's on their YouTube channel. And if people haven't seen it, I'd love for them to check it out. And we'll be filming all year long. So it's going to be really strong.
The professional side of auto racing has, I think, just so accelerated to where guys like you, guys like Dixie, guys like Chase Elliott, they've become a cottage industry. And with that comes a lot of responsibility, not just for you and your family, but for your brand, for all of the things that go into being successful. Is that a good direction that motorsports is taking, in your opinion?
I think we're evolving in a productive way, but there's no perfect route. As you evolve, you gain strength in some areas, but you maybe lose strength in others, or give up something that was unique to just our sport or to the individual. So there's always something's always sacrificed along the way in evolution. So I think we're in a great spot. I think that IndyCar is in a tremendous spot.
Indeed.
With the interest from teams, drivers, watching our viewership numbers increase, watching the attendance numbers increase. It's a good time to be in IndyCar. And I feel like Roger's an amazing leader for the industry. And then also there's a layer of realness that comes from the paddock, and it's not too contrived. And sure, we're an industry that thrives on corporate involvement, but I don't feel like we're too corporate. I feel like there's a really good balance, and IndyCar is evolving in a great way.
Well, I think, as you just outlined, with having partners like a Carvana that will take the viewers and take the fans behind the scenes, and the genuineness, you know where my heart has always lied. And that was, I don't care about 2 turns out of the right front. What I care about is what makes guys like you tick, and what resonates, and try to give fans an understanding of the passion. Last area that I want to discuss with you is your former boss, Mr. H, has made some big news over the course of the last couple of weeks, announcing that he's going to take a next-gen NASCAR Cup car and take advantage of the Le Mans Garage 56 opportunity in 2023 and field an entry for the 24-hour, twice-around-the-clock endurance race in France. And I understand you've already maybe exchanged a few texts that, if the schedule permits, you'd like to be part of that little Coco Clutch and harmonica recital.
Yeah, I would love to do anything with Mr. Hendrick and Hendrick Motorsports. Obviously, in the sports car program I've been competing in, at Action Express, there's been an association with Hendrick Motorsports, and that's all really led to this opportunity through Jim France and Action Express Racing, and then Hendrick Motorsports. But as you pointed out, it's really kind of down to schedule. And then at the same time, I've been logging these hours in a sports car, hopeful to have an LMDH opportunity and go to the 24 hours of Le Mans. So Le Mans is on my hit list. It's like at the top of my hit list since I'm able to run the Indy 500 this year. The next one down is Le Mans. And, I feel there might be a couple pathways for me to get there, but it really just depends on the schedule. And hopefully we get the IndyCar schedule soon.
Well, look, as you continue and you get better over in those Indy cars, the other thing is, it always is refreshing to go back to your roots. Come on, man. I'll co-drive with you in the Baja 1000. What do you say?
I'm for that. I just warn you that my co-riders in the past always wondered why, if there was ever a trouble area, I always put them on the troublesome side, and they took the hits, and they hit the rocks, and they hit the cactus. So I hear you, yes, but you might have to know that I'm going to put you in a bad position from time to time.
Yeah, but you got to understand, I did the 1000 with the late Scoop Vessels. He was of the same mindset as you. In fact, we were leading with just 2 hours to go, 68 miles away from the finish line, and we broke a right front hub.
So we put it on your side.
Put it on my side. Exactly.
on
So
your
I
side.
understand.
Exactly.
All right. Hey, listen, continued success. I do appreciate you carving out a little time out of your busy schedule. Get back in that damn simulator, will you? You've got a test coming up. You got a lot of work to do. I have no doubt that you are going to excel at this, much the way you did in your former discipline, that in the world of NASCAR. Thanks, Jimmie.
I appreciate it, Jack. All the best, man.